So, why do things happen in our lives? Do you know? Today, we're going to explore that. Hi, I'm Reverend Wolak. We're here each and every day at 8 a.m., except Sundays at 7:30, and we do thoughts that can change your life. We look at life and we try to make sense of it. We try to find our way in life. We try to discover what can we do to get the most out of life. Because isn't that why we're here? We're here to fully experience everything we could possibly imagine in life. At least that's what I believe. I don't know whether you believe it or not, but why else would we be here? Why else would we have the ability of our senses if it wasn't to experience? Because that's all senses are. Senses allow us to have an experience of life. And so today I put out there that everything in our lives is to get us to be authentic. So when people ask the question, why did that happen? What's going on? Why is this going on? I believe it's to get us to be more authentic. So then we got to sort of discern from there, if everything is about getting us to be more authentic, we have to then discern, what does being authentic mean? That's a really great question. That's a deep question. Because to be authentic means you have to know who you are. Yeah, you have to know who you are. The power of knowing who you are is the second chapter of my book that's going to be coming out in January. 2 things you got to know about yourself. 1, that you're an individualization of the infinite. And your body and mind are there for you to use. Oh, look at that. My beautiful friend Elaine is checking in from Giza, Egypt. Giza? I don't know, but it's Egypt. I think that's so cool. So I'm going to go off tangent a little bit right now because Egypt is absolutely one of the greatest places on the planet. It is probably the oldest civilization of power. If you start looking into Egypt and mythology and the things that happen there, you know, this is a special place. Can you even imagine the Great Pyramid? 2.2 million of these huge, I don't know how big they are. They're huge stones, precisely cut. I don't think they could do that. I don't know how humans could do it back then. I truly don't. Because I don't know that we could do it today in the time that they say they did it. So we go from the Egyptians to Zandy says, hey, what are your thoughts on psychedelics? I think they make you see things that you don't normally see. If you're asking me, is there a benefit to it? The medical profession is now saying there could be. They're saying that there could be healing properties for people who have emotional problems. It could open up. When I did ayahuasca, what it did for me is it opened me up to the idea that there was something greater than what my mind was currently perceiving. And what did it do? It just poured out my subconscious mind. There was so much in my subconscious mind that I didn't even realize was there, and it started to play out. And Zandy, at times it was not very pretty. In fact, most of the time it was not very pretty. Because in our subconscious mind, we bury a lot of deep, dark things. So what do I feel about it? My friend, Dr. John DeMartini said, Lee, you don't need to do that. You just need to meditate. I did it. Yeah, if you have a chemical imbalance, I would highly advise not doing it. I would highly advise you not doing it if you have a chemical imbalance. You don't know what we're playing there. The key thing is, how do you get yourself back into balance? How do you get your body back into homeostasis? That's a really good question. Hell, that's hours and hours of you and I having a discussion. First thing I would say is, You're going to have to get your physical body back in balance, and you'll do that with drinking a lot of water. You're going to be eating healthy, non-processed foods. You're going to be doing movement. That's from the physical aspect. Then from the mental or the spiritual aspect, you would start building a daily meditation practice. After that, you would start doing spiritual mind treatment, which is my form of prayer, where you start affirming the truth about yourself instead of what's not real. Now we come back to the idea that everything in our lives is to get us to be authentic. Your authentic self, Zandy, is balanced. Your authentic self is not imbalanced. It has everything it needs. It has all the power it needs. We have forgotten that. We've been driven away from our authenticity. Driven away from our authenticity. Here's the thing that keeps me in balance through everything that's going on. Number one, my meditation practice. Number two, I know my top values. I live my top values. You want to know how I know my top values? Because I did the process many times, and here they are. I got them here for you. I have them in front of me all the time. Notice top value number one, become more aware. Top value number two, teach. 3, interpersonal connection. 4, personal health and well-being. 5, explore human behavior and spirituality. And 6, to be financially comfortable. And from that came my purpose and my mission. That's what I live. Me doing those things is authentic. Ian thinks you can gain everything from a psychedelic experience. You can gain anything from it through meditation and practice of being aware. I agree with that. I don't think the requirement that the universe would have put out there is that you have to take a psychedelic. I think the process is a natural process. See, I'm really coming down to the idea that everything that we need is natural. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But that's what I believe. I believe in not eating processed foods to the best of my ability. I believe in eating organic to the best of my ability. I believe in drinking basically just water. I do have a cup of coffee every morning. Sitting right here. Made it at 3:30 this morning and still haven't finished it. You're saying 3:30? Yeah, I wanted to be up with Elaine today. Did you hear that, Elaine? Did you know I was up with you? Oh. What are your thoughts about bringing up a child today? I think family is absolutely critical. I think the problem that our youth are facing today is that they have not been brought up in a family structure, a loving family structure. I think we've gotten away from the family. And I think we need to bring the family back. I think families need to be there for the children, and the families need to be balanced. Dee Dee says, when's your next values workshop? That'll be in January sometime, Dee Dee. Be doing it in that first month for everybody, and I'll be advertising it. You'll know it's coming, girl. And for all of you, if you haven't done my values thing, yeah, I do charge for that. It's the single best thing I do. It'll give you greater clarity than anything else you've ever done. Ian, go ahead, let them know how great it was when you did it, because Ian's done it. So is Elaine's. Elaine's done it several times, I'm sure. It's a method that I learned from Dr. John DeMartini. I don't take claim to have discovered this method. I am a licensed facilitator. I've been trained by Dr. John. I think he's a master at this. Authenticity. Everything in our life is to get us to come back to being authentic. What's going on in your life? And how is what's going on in your life getting you to wake up to be your authentic self? I looked at the death of my prayer partner, Marcia, 2 weeks ago, and I said, how can this help me be more authentic? And every day I ask that question multiple times because I believe it was to get me to be more authentic. Do I know the answers right away? No, but I hold the questions. And then when I meditate, I listen. I'm not sure what I understand here, Corey. To be honest, Rev, I don't think there's enough message space out there today to type that one out. Not sure what that means. I want you to know I'm pretty intuitive, but I can't read minds. I can't read minds. And yesterday I celebrated my 49th year of marriage. Every once in a while I can guess what's going on in my wife's mind, but most of the time I just simply ask because otherwise I never know. And I never assume to know because that's one of the great mistakes you can make in marriage. Assuming you know what's going on in someone else's mind, it's the biggest mistake you can ever make because you cannot know, because you haven't lived their life. And every little thing that someone's done, thought, had experience of influences the filter through which they live life. That's why their authenticity will be different than your authenticity. The one thing that we all have in common is we come from the same source. We come from the infinite. But just because we came from the infinite created us as unique. So we're not the same, but we are because we're part of the one, but yet we're unique. Paradox. Isn't it great? Life is just magnificent. This is what I want to share with you. Go today, and whatever it is you're going to do, be so fully present. Be so fully present that you don't miss anything. Listen more today than you've ever listened before. And here's the last thing I want to say about today. Laugh a lot. We're taking life way too seriously, folks. Isn't it time we laugh? I was in a restaurant. I was in Hillstone Restaurant, really wonderful restaurant in North Dallas. And we had this magnificent waitress. And I was in one of my rare forms. Those of you know me, and maybe all of you know me, is I can turn on the humor. And she just was laughing her way up. And just before I left, she walked over me. She put her hand on my shoulder and she said, "I want to thank you. I so needed to laugh today." I think we all need to laugh. If you want to laugh right now, go in the mirror and look at yourself. You are funny. Don't think you're pretty. Don't think you're ugly. Think you're funny. Because I'm looking at myself in the screen as I'm talking to you. I'm funny. Anyway, I want you to know how much I love you and know that tomorrow on Sunday, I do this at 7:30, not at 8. That's the one day a week that I change. So, hey, if you haven't hit the like button, like it. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please subscribe. Help me get this message out to more people by doing that. And if you would, be bold, share it. Until tomorrow, know that you are good, you are perfect, you are whole, but most of all, you're loved. I love you just the way you are. Have a great day, everybody.